Kanye West, man, is he just trolling us or what? It just don't seem like what he's doing is real. It just doesn't. I just can't imagine that like these antics that bro is pulling is real. It's like 1 minute, bro wearing a swastika. And well, first of all, even before that, bro said that slavery was an option. And I don't know if he was talking, some people say that he was talking in subliminals when he was saying that. And he wasn't talking about like the real slavery from back, like in the 1700s and, all of that, like that he wasn't talking about that he's subliminally talking about, people mental capacity, people's mind being enslaved and things like that. I ain't buying it, bro. None of it. I think he playing with fire, with that. Then he jumped, from that to, rocking the swastika and, giving props to Hitler and all that. Bro done lost his fucking mind. Then he did the Akademiks interview, what tripped me out. And I'm glad that Akademiks did it the way that he did it, because in the beginning, when he pull up and he talking to him, bro, talking hella regular and normal and all that. And he like, yeah, let me go, put my uniform on. And so then he come back and he got the damn black KKK Grandmaster suit on. Tripping. I just don't get it, bro. Like, we need the real, man. We need the real Kanye West back, man. We need graduation Kanye West back, man. We need my dark twisted fantasy Kanye back, bro. Like, I honestly, man, I don't think he been dope since my dark twisted fantasy. I mean, like, Life of Pablo was okay, you know what I mean? But he just started getting weirder and weirder and weirder. Like every project after my dark twisted fantasy. My dark twisted fantasy was that album was amazing, and I'm not just saying it because I did the marketing on it. But honestly, the writer was kind of on the wall then, too. I did a live stream for Ye. That was like the first time that he broke the internet. That artwork for the album where it had like the monsters having sex on the cover or whatever. I remember him telling me that he wanted to do something like to, show this album cover, to unveil this album cover. And I hadn't seen it at first. And so my partner Mozzie, shout out to him, who was working at Ustream at the time, which was like one of the first streaming platforms. Like I think it was like Ustream and Periscope. Like they were the streaming platforms that we was on, before like Instagram Live and, TikTok Live and Facebook Live, all of that stuff. So I remember us going into L.A. Reid's office, setting up the live stream. Sada Prince, Big Sean was there. We was all in there chopping it up and, getting it in. We was playing pool and all that. And so we got on the live stream and he talked for a while and then he showed the artwork. And I remember like it just being so crazy. None of us knew like what it was going to be. And he like shocked everybody. So like all of us in the room was surprised when we saw it. Like everybody, nobody knew what to expect. So it was definitely, one of the first moments where he broke the internet, you know what I mean? Or where something went viral, you know what I'm saying? Like that term was just starting to, get out there. But so the right was on the wall then. But the KKK Grandmaster suit, like that was just crazy. And, I just think that he's doing, a lot of stuff for clickbait, man. And, for years, people was blaming his antics on, his grief, and I'll say, as someone who, lost my mom's a couple of years ago, I can definitely understand and sympathize with that, because the grief that you go through, especially like when you super close with your moms, which a lot of us are, you know what I mean? I won't say anybody's relationship is stronger than the other or try to rate it or anything like that. But the relationship that, you have with your moms is like no other. And so the grief that you go through when you lose your moms is something that you deal with forever. And, I even find myself at times where I might be great for a couple of months, but then, man, it might be a day where I'm feeling the worst. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and again, I don't want to judge like when it comes to lashing out or when it comes to like different things that you do, with your grief, because we all experience, that in different ways. And shit, I may have had ways where I've lashed out, you know what I'm saying? As, some of my exes and shit, they may tell you, you know what I'm saying? Like that I have had ways that I've lashed out that may not have been pretty or may not have been, as presentable or whatever. But I say that to say that, at the end of the day, like we still can't use, these things, losing people and grief and things like that, as an excuse, for us to just, be, acting a certain type of way. So, also what I want to say too, because, Ye always saying this, man, he always talking about how nobody talks about how he, his attempts of being a good father and how he works hard to be a good father to his kids and how he's, you know, constantly, trying to just keep his kids, out of the public eye, out of harm's way, out of the influence of TikTok and all of that. You know what I mean? Well, I think Chris Rock said your number one goal is to, is to keep your daughter off the pole. You know what I mean? And Kanye, he's definitely working hard to do that. So I definitely want to just give him some props for, working hard to try to, keep his family together or keep his daughters, and moving in the right direction. So I gotta say that, because he always say don't nobody when they talk about him mention how he's trying to, teach his daughters right and all of that. But then, bruh, I know your daughter's seeing all of this stuff, bruh. And I just feel like it would be crazy if one of your daughters like, wore a KKK suit or, something like that. But anyway, I just feel like, man, bro is just, all of this is just cries for help. You know what I mean? Most recently, he came out and was vulnerable about, a situation that he had with his cousin, where I believe he was being molested like through his teenage years, by his cousin. And so, that was really sad to hear. But then if it was true, which I think it was, then I'm sure that he's helping out other people who have gone through, similar situations. But it's like, bro, you got to get a grip, bro. It's like 1 minute you Nazi, 1 minute you KKK, 1 minute you want, us to, show you some sympathy because of what you were going through. It's like, bro, like, why can't you just be regular no more, bro? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, you such an icon, bro. Like, so many of us looked up to you and respected you, bro. And you know what I mean? Like what you brought to fashion when you came as, rocking the polo, you know what I'm saying? And flipping it to the Louis Vuitton Don, you know what I mean? Like everything that you was doing in fashion and with your influence and even, in your early projects, like your music was so relatable because you were saying stuff that like the common man would say and how we feel and how, we go about things. So it's like to go from that to just all this, just all this weirdo shit, man. Like I just don't get it, bro. And I just wish that the real Kanye would come back, man. I wish the real Ye would come back, bro, because we missed that. We missed that version of you, bro. You know what I'm saying? We missed the all falls down version of you, Ye. Like for real, bro. Like using your bag. You know what I mean? And with all the influence that you got, like I done bought hella stuff off the Yeezy site, especially when you made it $20. Shit, I got hella bully hoodies and sweats and all that. Like I really rock with like what bruh doing in fashion because, I remember seeing him in an interview when people were talking about like how much his clothes cost and all that. And he said, like, man, that's, that's the companies I work with. That's Adidas marking it up and, all of that. And he was like, man, if I had my choice, I sell everything for $20. And when he went independent, he really did that. And so I hella respect that because he's making dope fashion affordable, just showing that drip don't just have to be a $500 t-shirt or don't have to be, what I'm saying, $1,000 pair of jeans and all that. Like you can for real drip and be reasonable, about the cost. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely respect that. But man, we need the real Kanye West back, bro. Like, please, bro. Like, will the real Kanye West come back, man? Like, for real. I mean, I love and appreciate your directness and some of your stances on some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I was with you when you said George Bush don't like black people. Like, shit, I knew you was talking about some real shit, but it's like, man, it's just too overboard now, bro. And it's just too weirdo. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just too weirdo-ish, man. So, man, with a real Kanye West stand up, please, man. The culture needs you, bro. The culture need the real Kanye West back, for real. Let's get it, man. That's real spit from your boy Spit. Yes, sir.